Angling is a series of choices, from an infinite number of options, some simple, like what's your target species, to the complexities of understanding fish location on a seasonal basis. Then there's the myriad of presentation options. It's as mental of a game as physical. Each challenge is different, but the basic process remains the same. For angling is like solving a living, breathing puzzle. And to see the big picture, you need the fishing edge.
Look at the size of that thing.
Wow.
Look at the size of that pike. Oh.
Oop, there he is.
Got another one?
Yep.
You're jigging right in those high fish?
Yeah, jigging those high fish. They're about 5 foot off the bottom.
That's a good one, Dano. That's a good one. Oh, get her, get her, get her, get her.
Whoa.
Look at the size of that baby.
Yeah,
Huh?
they are
Oh,
extremely
man,
feisty,
are they
aren't
tough. Holy mackerel.
Whoop, there he is right there. See that? Big one. Yeah.
Without a doubt, this presentation is the most impressive, deadly walleye system I have ever seen to put walleyes in the boat throughout the warm water period into early fall. I don't know a way you can catch more fish faster and a lot of really, really big fish. I have not had this much fun walleye fishing in years since I got on this system.
Ready? Yep.
We were coming off the water here the other day, and a couple guys were just putting in. They noticed who we were right away. Say hi, how was the fishing? You know, the usual. And I shared with them roughly, or Rich did, how many fish he estimated we caught in a 5-hour period. It's one of those things that they got to look at you and scratch their head, because I know that they didn't believe you. They could not imagine catching that many fish in that period of time.
Yeah.
Absolutely a perfect day, Dan. Beautiful late summer day. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Going to be about 85 degrees. No wind, flat calm. Perfect walleye conditions, right? Well, actually, it is pretty good walleye conditions if you know how to catch walleyes on a reaction bait. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. The best reaction bait I've ever seen in situations like this that'll pull a load of walleyes in a boat for you if you know when, where, how, why, and have the confidence to fish it. Man, is there a fish out here. I'm talking there's a whole bunch of fish 10 feet down. You seeing them?
Yeah. That's a better fish.
Well, when you get them off of the bottom, laying off of the bottom like that, they're definitely more active.
Gobs and gobs of them.
Some of these fish are high, man.
This is like sight fishing with your electronics, right?
What it is. That's a good one, Dano. That's a good one. That's a good one. Take a look at that rod pound. That's one of the big fish.
You need a net, obviously, on this one.
Yeah, you'll like this fish.
Oh, yeah. Wow, look at that.
It's the right stuff.
Thanks.
Whoop. Let it up. Okay. Oh. Don't move, Dan. Suckers are so tough. That water is so warm. Look at the size of that baby.
Yeah.
Huh?
They are extremely
man,
feisty,
are they
aren't
tough. Holy mackerel. Oh, man. Oh, man. You know, the first time I did a television show some years ago about catching walleyes like this on reaction baits, in this case we were talking a jigging wrap. Yeah, and a lot of people looked at me in open water. Let me put this fish back. They looked at me and they said, open water, that jigging wrap is designed for ice fishing. And that's true. But we really got on a bite the last few years. This is going into the 3rd year, and I learned so much about this bait. We did a couple television shows on it, some major magazine articles, and we got tons of emails. My phone rung off the hook. people who are catching fish doing this in many, many different environments. The people that got on it, tried it, got bit on it, got the confidence. I know of one guy that won 2 major tournaments in Canada on a big-time walleye tournaments. And he says, oh, my secret is finally out. So, I mean, the word got out, and a lot of people are putting this bait to use. And lo and behold, little did we know that the people from Rapala in Europe were working on a new bait, and they were calling it a snap wrap. And they said, we're designing it here for the European market for big jumbo perch, and they get 3-pound perch there on a regular basis, and they have a fish there called a zander. That's kind of like the European answer to our walleye. So that's where they were designing this bait. And I said, man, it should work. We'll take it into Canada and US, in the US markets, and introduce the bait to the walleye fishermen, perch fishermen there. But that's the story, quickly, of this new bait and how it came to be. Let me compare this to the standard jigging wrap. See the top, how much difference? You see how much water this will grab when you snap it? That's the idea, to get the lift and glide. The wings are much bigger. The bait reacts different. This bait doesn't have the same action that this bait does. The snap wrap is not made to replace the jigging wrap. It's made to complement the jigging wrap. There's times that action will trigger more bites than this action. This action on the standard jigging wrap, you can move the bait. If you're casting it and pulling it with the boat, working your bait where you're snapping it, the bait will glide and zing off to the side. The snap wrap will come more up and then fall more like this, almost like a walk the dog type action, where the jigging wrap will actually jump off and dart high to the side and crash really fast, and it has more extreme action on the cast and if you're back trolling or pulling the bait. Both baits have a time and purpose. This is a bigger bait, a bigger profile, bigger fish will hit it. Before the day's over, you're going to see what I'm talking about when I'm saying a bigger fish will hit this. So it's important to understand that the snap wrap is not here to replace the jigging wrap. And look at it, it's so simple. 2 little boxes, and you can have so many different baits in there, and they take up no room. And it is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the most enjoyable walleye fishing I have experienced in many, many years. In the summer months like this, when that bite's on, man.
And see what Al's doing. We take our first pass and go up shallow, and we'll walk along this area, and then Al will take it back on another pass going out deeper, just testing the water depth and seeing if some fish are a little bit more aggressive, deeper rather than shallow. So it's just eliminating water.
Well, there's a bunch of them here. Well, get your lure down there. We're on some.
Drop it to the bottom. Yeah, see, look at those fish suspended right there. Oop, there he is.
Got another one?
Yep.
Are you fishing them suspended ones?
Yeah.
Boy, you're getting me. Another walleye?
Yeah.
Boy, are they out here. Holy mackerel. Better fish?
No, same size.
Okay, well, I'm not going to net your fish. You're on your own.
Okay. Whoa.
I'm going through an awful lot of fish, and they might have lifted off the bottom. A lot of them are, which they will do, and that's a heck of a bait for that, too. You know, we've learned so many different ways to fish this bait that keeps putting walleyes in a boat. Right now, I'm pulling with the Minn Kota, and we're on a particular structure. And the speed that you're generally going is dependent on the depth of water you have, the fish, the wind, a variety of things, but you want the line out on at least a 60-degree angle, way more than a 45. The bait's got a quick jump up. Now, there's times we'll sweep the rod like this and let it fall back slow. Yeah, you know, and always falls back. There's other times, just a short snap where that bait just short hop off the bottom and a quick fall. You don't feel it when the rod is going back. You just come back, you pull up on the line, and the fish is on. They hit it when it crashes into the bottom. Yeah, you know, we get a fish, we'll punch spot lock, hold on that spot, fan cast around a little bit. Or you take that new I-track technology. Just imagine this. The Minn Kota is working in conjunction with my Humminbird depth finder and my Lake Master chip. Let's say that I want to follow a set contour. In this case, I'm going to set it at 12 feet. All you do is take your cursor, scroll over to the 12-foot contour. I punch go to. It shows in the top left-hand corner, it says follow the contour. Yep, that's what I want to do. It shows you the direction, either yellow or orange, gives you the direction you want to follow on that contour. I punch it in, I'm ready to go. It will follow that contour at whatever speed that I set on my trolling motor, and will go around the entire lake or around that entire structure at that depth at whatever speed I want to go. It makes fishing as simple as ABC. I've never seen anything this slick. I love it, man.
You know, right now the water temperature is 76 degrees. It's probably about as warm as it's going to get throughout the entire year. What does that mean? That means that the walleye's metabolism is about as high as it's going to be for the entire year. These fish are cranked up. They're hyper aggressive. And you'll see that, whoop, there he is right there. See that?
Big one.
Yeah. And there's just millions and millions of fry down there. And traditional walleye fishermen will, oh, there we go. Traditional walleye fishermen will go drag a minnow around it. That minnow is one minnow in a sea of minnows. You know, and this bait is a reaction bait like Al was talking about, and it forces them to make an impulse buy, you know? Oh.
Huh. What are you doing, Colby? I'm sitting on all these fish. I put you on all these fish. Oh, got him again.
Was that underneath the boat?
Right under the boat.
Oh,
I'm sitting, I mean, we're hovering right over
I can see him
these
coming
babies.
up. I can see him, the fish on the electronics.
Yeah, I mean, there's up
Well, I'm
high.
gonna try and double up here. Do you need me to get the net for you, Chief?
Yeah, oh, look at that one. Yeah,
Is that
nice
good?
fish. Nice fish, man.
Whoop. Get him up and in. Easy. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, that's a big gal. Here, hand her this way. Oh, the only negative is that bait always there.
There you go. You
It's
got it.
always, it came out of her mouth.
That's
Huh?
fine.
Look at that. Look at that. We're
Beauty.
sitting on we found the mega load of some of these fish. There's a whole bunch of them here. You know, I can't tell you how often over the past 3 years that we've been doing this, how many big fish I've caught in the middle of summer, in the middle of the day, in conditions like this, and we're poking fish like this with consistency. The difference between a reaction bite and a traditional live bait type rig bite is like night and day.
Ooh, this could be
get,
good.
You might catch this one. Little guy, look at that whopper.
How you were talking about snagging up those perch and all that down in the bottom. This is a really good representation of what you're seeing on the Humminbird when you see those big clouds of bait. That's what they are. Just millions and millions and millions of these things sitting down there. Last year I was up in Northwest Ontario filming with Jeremy and Alex Kessler on the Shield Lake, and we hounded these walleyes on this bait. I mean, seriously, us three sitting in the boat, it was one after another, all the way from that big up to 6-8 pounders. I mean, it was just insane, the power of this bait. So it works in a lot of different waters, not just on natural lakes, but a lot of different places.
Not to mention different places, but a lot of different kinds of fish. Yeah, you know, we'd applied this method and this bait to deep water crappie fishing with huge success. We know guys that are using it through the ice for lake trout in a lot of conditions. We've caught big bluegills in open water on it in deep water. I know this snap wrap because of the profile of it. The guys out west that have been fishing big bass in those deep clear reservoirs in the wintertime, they're gonna just really get onto this thing. They're jigging these baits down in 40, 50, 60, 70 feet of water and catching bass. So I mean, the application of this style of bait, we're just really now becoming aware of how deadly it is. Yeah, you know, and like I said earlier, the key is it's a reaction bait. And a reaction bait, what's the key to a reaction bait? A reaction bait, two things you got to keep in mind. The most important thing is speed. The second thing is erraticness. Speed and something that's erratic. How do you control speed when you're fishing vertical on baits like this? Weight. And this bait is incredibly heavy and compact in a lot of cases. That
Look
one
at
of the
this
big
guy.
crappies, Dan? Oh, Bub, let me see that sucker.
Oh, and he's not a big one.
Oh, man, that's a nice one. I'm impressed. No matter where you go, you like to catch crappies. You're the crappie meister.
Yeah. And crappies like the snap wrap.
He was way up there,
He
wasn't
was way up on top.
Initially, the first year we fished this bait, we were pretty convinced that you can only fish it over hard bottom, like gravel and sand. And granted, that is a high percentage spot to fish it. But over the last couple of years, we fished it on suspended fish. We fished it over when walleyes are laid in deep basin areas over mud, and you just lift the bait above the mud, and you just bounce it so it swims in a circle vertically, dives, and then just sits there. You can control the depth. It'll work in suspended fish in treetops. You know, big boulder areas where you can't bounce things in the bottom, and those walleyes will lay down in those rocks. You get it right above the rocks. Let's say, you know, big boulders where a traditional jig or a rig is snagging all the time. You fish it above that stuff, and the same thing, you just snap it. You're moving slower, and the bait is moving in a circle and settle.
There we go.
He's got one. He's got one.
Can't tell yet. I don't know, yeah, I'm just coming in too easy. She's gliding on you. But a fish. We're on new water here, so it's a little better, huh?
Yeah. Oop.
She woke up on you?
Yeah. I'm gonna grab the net here.
Good, you can net her while I keep fishing.
Okay.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh no, well, if I knew she was that good, I'd netted her.
After dumping one, I don't want.
Nice fish. Oh yeah.
Oop. Oh. You gotta play these fish really lightly. That's why it's important to have that.
Go, go.
I don't want to get his head out of water. Oop. There we go. There we go. I'll get that guy right down in the bottom of the boat. Yep. It's a good thing that There we go. Look at that. Beautiful walleye. We'll let this guy go. Whoa, boy, they're active. That was fun. Let me take a second to show you what we're using for a rod reel line. This is one of our Angling Edge Technique Series rod, 7-foot medium action. Medium action is critical when you're using a bait like this. You don't want to use a heavy action rod because it'll have a tendency to pull those hooks out of the fish's face. We got a Quantum EXO 25. This is a beautiful reel for doing this type of fishing. And we got Suffolk Siege 10-pound test. Another important little piece of the puzzle is having a swivel tied up front. This will prevent line twists, which will be very frustrating if you don't use one.
Dan, you got a pretty good one, Dano. Oh yeah, she's bigger than I thought at first. Yeah, she's coming up pretty good now. I appreciate that. You like that one? Mm-hmm. Huh? You like that? You gotta get her. She only got one hook in her mouth, Bubba. Get her. Okay. Oh, look at that. Don't let her get wrapped in there. Okay. Just don't let her get wrapped in there.
You're right. You want me to get you the pliers?
Ah, man. No, hang on. I can get that hook out of that place.
Okay.
Look at the size of that baby, huh? Look at the size of that walleye. You know, every year I do a lot more of this method of fishing. Snap wrapping, jigging wrapping, and it's the best bites that I see throughout the year. In the middle of summer, in the warm water period, lots and lots of big fish like this. It's a method of fishing that you got to add to your bag of tricks. It's surprising how few people have got onto this bite and how deadly this is. Hey, I got to share something with you that really got to me the other day, and I still keep thinking about it, and it's like a thorn in my side. I was watching a television show, and it really got my interest, and in the show, they depicted a particular a person of faith, somebody that believed in the Bible, quoted scripture, and as usual, like most of the time, Hollywood portrayed this person in this particular television series as just a hypocritical, just a goon, like a real stupid idiot. Yeah, you know, and the more I'm watching this thing, I got so mad, I wanted to kick the television set in. And Hollywood always does this. A person of faith, somebody that believes in God's word, lives it and acts on it, and they always make them look like some buffoon. Have you ever seen it any way different than that? Do you think that Hollywood would ever take the story of Billy Graham and make a motion picture or a television series on him? Of course not. You can be sure that they checked his background upside and down, looked for any way that they could find something that he did wrong in his life, but they never found it. They couldn't find something to make a man of God like that look bad, so they're never ever going to do a show about it. Something good, a man that impacted the world and still is today, but they'll never do anything on that. They always take a person of faith and make them look like an idiot. Do I look like I'm mad and aggravated? I am. I'm trying to calm down, and I had to share that with you because it is such an irritation to me, because the vast majority of people that believe in God's word and act and are not hypocrites. They're living a fulfilled life and a blessing to the community and the world that they live in. Not one small percentage of somebody that distorts the truth, which happens everywhere. I needed to share that with you. I had to tell somebody about it because it was really getting to me. Hey, from all of us at The Edge, have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water.